How the devil are you? Are you all right? Genuinely, are you okay? Because I woke up yesterday, back of my throat, shot, nose streaming. Yes, the winter cold has got me. But I'm sat here, I've got a blackcurrant Lemsip, I'm dosed up on that, I've got a Vicks inhaler and I've got some Barbados rum and it seems to be doing the trick, which is good news because I've got one more episode to record until we break up for Christmas. So don't worry, all is in hand. So it's episode 69. I know why you're here. It's because you want to listen to the fantastic Jodie Comer, and you will. Trust me, it's a brilliant episode because she's ace. If you just joined us for Jodie's episode, go back. Including now, there is 69 brilliant episodes. So go back, scroll through, see who you like, subscribe. Can you hear my voice? It's going. I think we better get on with it. I'll tell you what happened. I was in London. We had a little flat. Griff got the train. We met up. We set up the mics. And we welcomed Jodie Comer. This is episode 69 of the Two Shot Podcast. Enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end. I was talking to somebody last year, because I always do a little bit, I always want to do a little bit of research, just just the littlest.
Yeah.
Because I want the conversation to sort of be discovered by me as it does for everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said to her, I won't say who it is, and I said, oh, so it's quite interesting because you were born on Christmas Eve. And she goes, no. I went, what? She went, no, it's just somebody dicking about on Wikipedia.
Oh, God.
But what I want you to do is, if I say like 1, 2, 3, just tell me the date of which you were born.
Okay.
Okay.
The date's just the...
Just the number. Just some of the number.
The day?
The day.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 11. There we go. Perfect. Right, that's good. We're off to a flying start. No one's been dicking about
No one cares enough to do that.
I was born on the 11th of March.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Pisces?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it when I meet people with the same birthday as me.
And that's the only person I've met who's got the same birthday as me is you.
Well, my friend Sasha Parker. Do you know Sasha Parkinson?
I know Sasha Parkinson.
She's 11th of March as well.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I did know that. Fuck, I did know that because I've worked with her years ago.
Yeah, she's the 11th. You're the only people that I've met.
Do you know Jo Hartley?
Yeah.
She's 12th of March.
Oh, my best friend's 12th of March.
Look, it's March. It's a good month, Jodie. How are you? How's things?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm been living in London now since June. Nearly ready to go home.
How do you find London? Hard work or?
Do you know what? I enjoy it, but then I do like to leave. It's very busy. It's definitely a different pace to Liverpool. But I feel lucky in the sense that I can come for 6 months, experience it, and then I can go back to normality, and go back to my mum's. But yeah, it's all right.
I suppose sometimes though, if you're busy working, you don't really get to...
No, well, that's the thing.
See loads, because you're just there to generate the work and get out.
I'm like, I'm going to go to this museum, I'm going to go to this museum, and then by the time I come to the weekend, I'm like, I'm just going to sit on my own on the sofa. So yeah, I probably actually, I think, in a sense, I haven't really made the most of it to make a judgment. Do you know what I mean?
Or at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But it is nice to know, since I moved out of London, I do love that feeling of coming in and sort of meeting up with people or doing whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
But knowing I can
escape,
bugger off on the train and get home. Back to normality. I do like that. I appreciate London in a different way than what I did when I lived here.
Yeah.
So I really fell out of love with it.
No, but I can imagine that's quite easy. I think it's quite intense. I also think it can be quite lonely. I mean, I do love my own company, but I do get a sense of if you haven't got your tribe of people here, it's very easy to just kind of slip under the radar and probably spend too much time on your own.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tell me about growing up in Liverpool. Whereabouts were you?
Chilwell.
What? Forgive
So
me.
Chilwell is like, have you ever been to Lime Pictures where they film Brookside?
No.
Well, they film Hollyoaks there now. It's like five minutes from there.
Right.
Just as you come off the motorway. But yeah, I've lived there all my life. Still live with my mum and dad. The same house I've always lived in. My primary school is literally at the top of my road.
So you just walk to
Yeah,
school
I
and
walked
run
to school. I loved growing up in Liverpool. I've got, no, particularly my dad's side of the family is really big.
Are they all still there as well?
Yeah, they're not in Chilwell, but they're not too far away. But yeah, I've got a younger brother called Charlie, who's twice as big as me, who I love. But yeah, growing up was always really happy, really close-knit kind of thing.
What does your dad do for a living?
My dad's a massage therapist.
Is he? What, like a sports massage therapist?
Yeah. But trying to get him to give me one is...
Busman's holiday.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's like,
Get
you're doing
one
all
at
day in work. I'm not going home to give you one. Which is fair enough. Yeah, so my dad's a massage therapist. And
How did he get into that?
I don't actually know. We used to work at Ford. Is it the Land Rover? I don't know if it's Land Rover or Range Rover. I can't tell the difference. The big car.
A big car, I know. Ones that are a pain in front of you when you're driving.
To park. Yeah, so he used to work there when he was younger, and then I don't know how he got into it, but he works at Everton Football Club.
Right, okay.
And he's a massive Evertonian, so we have that kind of similar thing of he is besotted with his job, which is really nice to see. So yeah, I think he's been there for a while now. And my mum works for Mersey Travel, which is like the transport in and around Merseyside.
Do you have a tram system in Liverpool?
No, we
not?
were supposed to get them, and then it all kind of fell through. That was a promise that no one kept.
Yeah. So I've got, even though I've been to Liverpool quite a lot, I've always got that image of, oh yeah, there's a tram just like there is in Manchester, just sort of going through, or like in Glasgow.
There was supposed to be, but it didn't. I didn't think it ended up. It definitely didn't end up.
No, well, not yet anyway. Unless I've been away for 6 months, maybe they've fucking built a big tram system.
Them, yeah.
So happy times growing up, really.
Yeah. Love primary school. Enjoyed secondary school, but then like not so much sixth form and stuff. I kind of lost interest in school at that age.
When you say you enjoyed it, is it because you threw yourself into like subjects? Were you quite academic, or was it just that sort of?
No, I think I probably had potential to be. I was a big chatter. You know, my school reports were always, she's great, but would be even better if she kept her mouth shut in class. But I think I was really enthusiastic, which goes a long way.
Absolutely.
God loves a trier, Craig.
That's what people have been telling me for years.
But yeah, I don't really ever, remember having really bad memories of school. And my friends who I'm friends with now are the friends that I grew up with in secondary school, and there's about 5 of us that are really close knit, which is really lovely. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd want to go back, but I enjoyed it.
There's nothing you want to change?
I always was like, oh, if I could go back, I'd I'd put my head down a bit more and get better grades, but then I haven't had to, I've never ever had to use my grades for anything.
Well, exactly, and doing what you do.
Yeah, and so I've always been like, oh, just for the discipline, I would like to have been a bit more disciplined maybe. And
do you not think you're disciplined now?
Yeah, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, my brother went to university, went and done his masters, and I've seen the work that he has to put in.
What was he?
As in, just I feel like with university, they tell you what you need to do, but then it's up to you to go away and do it, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess is the same with learning your lines and stuff, but I don't know. I just think there's a different kind of discipline.
I suppose it is, but I know what you're saying, because it's like, well, you go away, you've got lines to do, you've got choices to make. No one's gonna.
Yeah.
They might mould you in different ways, but you have to go in with those certain choices.
Yeah.
But those disciplines, yeah, you couldn't have really learnt that in school because it was different.
Yeah, that's true. I guess my grades were like fine.
Quite middly.
Like, for instance, this is really embarrassing, but for my my drama GCSE, I'd got an A star in my practical and I got a U in my written. Like, that actually happened.
Do you know, I refused to do my written work.
Did you?
Yeah, because I said.
Well, I wish I would have actually.
Being an idiot said it. No, it's all right. Acting's not about writing. I refuse to do it. What?
Yeah. Well, in my defence, kind of. I'd had.
In your defence for you. Yeah,
I'm gonna try. I'd been like doing little jobs outside of school, and I was away for they do like a practice test, and I was away for that. So that's my excuse. I was away for the practice.
What were you doing away for?
You on
holiday?
I was doing an episode of The Rule Today, Craig.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was. It's really serious stuff.
So you were acting at school?
Yeah, like, kind of.
So how did you get into that?
Oh my god, so long story, but basically,
we've got plenty of time.
Yeah, we
are.
We'll
get the kettle on for another cuppa.
Drag it
it's
out.
Fine.
So I'd done like dancing, singing, and acting at a Saturday school.
Right.
Down the road from my house was like an hour of each, and we had a thing in Liverpool called the Liverpool Drama Festival, which was you would enter into a group of like 30 people your age, and everyone would perform a monologue. And I'd entered into that with my weekend drama school, and I won my group. I came first. So that's when I first kind of got the buzz for like performing in front of other people. It was the first time my dad had seen me act and stuff. And then a couple of months, however long it was, we were doing a talent show in school. And me and my 3 friends were doing a dance from Chicago. I don't know if you're familiar with Chicago.
No, I know the musicals. I've seen it. It's all bowler hats and things.
Yeah, we were doing the cell block tango at the age of 12, which was probably a little bit inappropriate, like thinking back. But so anyway, was planning on doing the talent show. Midway through rehearsals, I went away on holiday with my family, my mum, dad, and my brother. And obviously, you know, when I was away on holiday, I was spending all my time on MSN on the computer. And the girls had been in touch with me on MSN to say that I couldn't be in the dance anymore because I hadn't been there to rehearse. So I remember, like,
elbowed.
Literally elbowed out of the girl band. So, you know, when you're a kid and you're so upset and you're like, that moment where you kind of lose your breath. I remember going up to my mum and just being like so distraught, and she was like, well, why don't you go back and ask your drama teacher if you can do your monologue from the drama festival, you know, go and do your own thing and whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went home, I told my drama teacher that I wanted to, you know, enter into the competition doing my own thing. She made me audition. She approved, yeah.
So she made you do it.
Yeah, she made me do it in front of her, and then she was like, "Okay." And it was from doing the talent show that, like, a couple of months after that, the BBC sent through a request. They were looking for a young girl to play the lead in a BBC4 radio drama, and my drama teacher was like, "I really think you should go in for this," and I was like, "Okay." So she sent me and another girl from my year to this audition. I think it was in the Everyman, and that was my first audition, and I got the role. And then it was doing the radio play, which was like 4 days in Manchester. My mum and dad chaperoned me. I had like the best time of my life. And
how old were you now? Like 14?
I was like 12.
12,
13, yeah.
Right.
And I just loved it so much, and the other actors were like, you know, if you like enjoy this so much, you can do this as like a job, a profession, or whatever you want to call it. And my mum and dad were like, okay, like, if that's what you want to do, then
were they quite supportive of that?
Yeah, totally. They were just like, listen, if you want to do it, we'll go with you. So an actress kindly introduced me to her Manchester-based agent and a photographer in Crosby to get some headshots taken.
Yeah.
and now I'm here sat with you. So what I feel like is, I'm always like, Mum, imagine if they didn't leave me out the group. What would I be doing?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it all came from that.
Well, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, because doing the radio play kind of made me realise, like, you know, I wasn't one of those kids who, like, came out the womb and was singing, dancing and acting. Like, no. I just enjoyed it, and the thought of doing it as like a career choice, it just never, ever entered my head.
Did you realise that it would be possible for you to do it?
I think, well, when I was on the radio play, I was like, oh, this is like, people do this all the time. Even though obviously I watched the telly and stuff, but it just, I never made the connection.
You always go, I remember when I was growing up, when I didn't really see anybody like me on there. And then all of a sudden when I started to get older, I thought, oh my God, he's from not far from me, and he does that for a living.
Yeah.
I wonder.
It was just the thought that I'd never ever... Also, I was so young. Like, people were like, well, what did you want to be before you were an actress? And I'm like, when I was 12, I didn't think I'd even thought of that.
Yeah. I want you to think of things, of what a 12-year-old girl thinks they want to do for a living. Which,
yeah, do you know, you're not even thinking about work then, are you? I hope not anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to grow up. I don't never want to work. What
exactly.
Are you about?
So I had a Manchester-based agent, and I got a couple of roles in some little things, like, you know, little episodes of stuff. But then I think it was when I got to about 16, I was only getting like one audition every like 3 months or so. And I'd like really realised then that it was what I wanted to do, and I probably should have been doing a lot more than what I was, you know, like actively trying to do more.
Yeah.
And...
But it takes its time, doesn't it? I mean, especially you, when you're younger, and if you're going up these auditions, you're changing, you know, you're growing up, you know, things change and your needs change and what you want to do changes. So
I always remember, like, my dad driving me to Leeds and sitting outside the studio with me, like, running me lines, and, like, I remember there was a swear word in one of the lines once, and he just said his head was gone. He was just like, what am I doing? This is the weirdest thing. Yeah, like, but they've always, you know, any choices I've had to make, like when I left my Manchester agent to join the agent that I'm with now. Yeah. I was like, Dad, I'm gonna leave David Pearson, and I'm gonna go to independence. And he was like, right, okay. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, you know where the phone is? And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, well, you know, this is your choice. You've decided it, not me or your mum. If this is how you feel, bring them up and tell them. And I mean, I was like 16 then, so that doesn't even 16, 17, so that doesn't sound that young, but it just seemed like a really adult conversation to have. Yeah.
I think it is though, isn't it?
Yeah. And but I did it, and I was so happy with my choice. But they've always listened, but never
interfered.
They don't intrude. Yeah, they'll listen to what I'm saying, and 9 times out of 10, my dad's like, "You're answering your own question, but you know, I'm all ears."
Yeah. Well, sometimes you've got to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Even just as a soundboard to somebody who's supportive and that you trust.
Yeah.
Even though secretly, like you know the answer, don't you?
Yeah. And I feel like your gut never really lets you down if you really listen to it. Like,
is that something you're like about trusting your gut?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Even sometimes when I think, oh my God, I don't know if this is, you know, if this is right. But also like when I moved to my agent now, I remember when I first went with them, and I'd you know, I had to really learn to find my voice, because if I didn't like respond to the scripts, I'd feel like, but I have to go to this audition, and you know, it's which then I probably did because it was experience and all the rest of it. But I used to feel like I can't not like a character or a script. Like, you know, this is kind of an opportunity, and
I have to say yes.
Yeah, I have to do this.
I can't connect with it in any way whatsoever, in my head or my heart or my gut.
So I think now I'm definitely more like, if I read the script, I'm like, no, I don't can't connect with it for whatever reason, and I say to my agent, look, if you think I'm being stupid or if I'm not seeing something that you are, then let me know.
Because again, you're speaking to somebody that you trust.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I definitely do think if you just stop to actually listen to yourself, you've usually probably got the answer.
Did you start sixth form and then drop out, or?
No, I finished the whole of sixth form.
Why wasn't it a particularly...
I think because... One, sixth form again, not like university, but you were left up to your own devices to do the work that you were given, and I was just
going back to discipline, Jodie.
Yeah, exactly. And also, because I'd been doing little jobs here and there, I'd had a taste for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So then everything else just was a disinterest,
Flows out the window.
Yeah. I was like, I've got to be here, but I really want to be doing this, and I know that I can do this if I really try.
Yeah. And I suppose at that point you'd made that decision that this is kind of the path that you want to go down.
Yeah.
What you want to do.
Yeah.
So why am I doing
this?
Putting 20% of my energy into this when it's going to turn out to be a piece of shit anyway, where I can 100% with this.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Happen.
I think I was just like, well, I've done a couple of jobs and I know that's what I definitely want to do. I don't do well. I think that's why, when I was young, I was like, when I'm 18, I'm moving to London and I'm doing musical theatre and I'm going to be on the West End. And then I, kind of just really loved acting. And, some people go to drama school and it's the best thing for them. But I think in my head, the thought of kind of being in a room, even though it is... physical and whatever other elements there are, doing that from 7 till 7, I don't think I would have coped well in that.
In that environment for so long?
Yeah. It was always something that I just didn't feel right to me in myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've got huge respect for people who do it, and there are a lot of times that I wish I had.
But everybody goes down different paths of route of training. Obviously... You've been picking things up even probably from that first radio play. Yeah. You go, brilliant, I don't even have to learn my lines, I'm doing a radio play.
Yeah, that's true. And, yeah.
Do you think there's you feel safe doing what you do, but knowing that you live where you live? And I don't necessarily mean that you live with your mum and dad. I mean that you live... where you were born, you live back in Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think so. There's something about home that don't get me wrong, I love home for my family and my friends and that. And what I love and hate is that nothing ever changes.
In what respect?
In a sense of the same people are always there. We're all doing this. Everyone's doing the same things, and that's something that I love to go back to. Yeah. But it's also something that if I'm not working for a while, it's the first thing that I want to get away from.
Yeah.
So I think it's that familiarity, and it is definitely a bubble for me for when I can go back and yeah.
And what do you find hard? What do you find difficult about something that you've chosen to do that you love? Because different things come up for different people all the time.
Yeah. I think...
Apart from that police siren that's annoying.
What I think the most is what I'm trying to learn, actually, is everything that comes with it, as in, the publicity and the press side of things.
The job that you signed on for isn't over when the cameras stop rolling.
Yes.
It's like another...
There's this whole other world.
Yeah.
And this thing of doing interviews as yourself and people, just the world seeing you as you and having something to say about it. Yeah. And I think especially kind of learning how to do interviews and how to respond correctly and what's the right thing to say and
but obviously that's somebody else's opinion of
how course, yeah,
they would want you
to do. Yeah, exactly. But I think because I remember doing my first photo shoot and I was just so rigid with fear. Like, I think they were like, what is wrong with this girl? But I didn't know what to do. I was just a whole other world to me. And
well, it's completely different than acting in front of a camera,
yeah,
because you're inhabiting something,
and you're
whereas
also
you're being you, and I have a terrible...
looking right down the lens, which you never do.
I feel absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think it's the hardest part is like just adapting to the other things that
come with it.
acting, yeah. And also like just embracing them and trying to not see it as a daunting thing, but like to also enjoy it. And yeah, because also, you know, not worrying what people think when you're doing all this stuff as yourself. Like, I remember I'd done a chat show in America and stupidly watched it and read the YouTube comments. And I know all the people who comment on YouTube are like aliens anyway.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, and they were like, I was speaking as myself, but they were like, oh, she's losing her accent, like she's changing. And I was like, I'd obviously maybe adapted it a little bit because it was an American audience.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time people are like, what is she saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's that thing of, I mean, that's a whole other world of not worrying about what people think. But yeah, so I think that side of things is something that
but it's
can find difficult.
It is exposing though when you're being you.
Yeah, of course it is.
And it's nerve-wracking because you're worried. You're probably not worried about how you're going to come across as a character, because that's not up to you.
No.
But if you're being you and then you feel like you're being exposed and you're in your skin.
Yeah.
But you want to be comfortable. You want to be in your skin. So I suppose it's about learning how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I think it is, and it's also like, because I always look at people's interviews and I'm like, oh, they're so articulate and they've got everything together. And
God, I sometimes read people's interviews and I go, oh my God, actors should never be interviewed. They come across terribly.
Well, that's what I mean. I think there's a lot of pretense, right, in this industry, and I don't ever want to pretend to be something that I'm not. But then I worry that sometimes it comes across as a bit like it's all over the place.
You know, it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And also, what comes out, the printed word.
Yeah.
Everything can be so misconstrued.
Yeah.
And you went...
There's so many interviews I've read and I'm like, I didn't say that.
Didn't say it. Yeah. Didn't say it in that context.
You flipped it like
you
the
flipped
whole
it
way
very
around.
Smart to make me look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
It was so funny when I done a play in Yorkshire with Michael Palin, and my dad is a huge like Monty Python fan, and I was getting interviewed for it once, and there was one night that we were having dinner and Michael had come into the restaurant, and my dad was like, ask him if he wants to sit down and have dinner and whatever. So he did, and we had dinner, and it was a lovely evening. And when I was getting interviewed, I'd told the interviewer, because they were like, oh, you know, how was it working with him and blah blah blah, and then it got turned round to be like, Michael Palin takes Jodie and her family for big meal, like takes family for dinner. And my dad was like, I got that bill. Which I always remember. It's just so funny. But like, you know, just things like that people switch around for whatever reason. But
I mean, that's hard sometimes because you do think your trust goes. Sometimes, I mean, if you go deeper, that could go somewhere to a darker place, and you go, well, that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, it's also that thing of, like, being honest. You want to be honest, but, yeah.
You don't
How honest?
You want to be honest, but you don't want to be honest where it's going to affect who you are or your life or the perception of who you really are.
Yeah.
Because that's not right.
Yeah. I think as well, especially, like, with, you know, like, so interviews and stuff, when you then get asked, like, personal questions. Like, I don't know, whatever's going on in your own life, whether it be, like, partners or whatever.
That's something that, you know, you'd probably just need to shut down straight away.
Yeah, straight away.
I mean,
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's all very well and good promoting what you're doing or having a conversation like this, which is probably quite rare because, you know, I'm not going, so tell me about
this
Killing You.
is my first podcast, Craig.
Is it your
Yeah,
first
you're
podcast?
getting an exclusive right now.
Look at that, you see. I'm honoured you sat on that green settee.
Me too.
It's quite comfy, isn't it?
It is actually.
Do you know when you're away? So say if you go, right, I'm going to do a 6-month stint and I know I'm going to be away, I know I'm going to be busy. Is there a period, because I know whenever I go away, and I go, oh, first week's amazing, I feel like I'm away. And then, do you ever get quite homesick? Because you seem...
Yeah.
You seem quite a home bird.
Yeah, I do. I usually get to like a 4 or 5 week period, and then I just know when I need to just go in for a couple of days.
Because that does recharge the batteries, doesn't it, going home?
Yeah. And I just think there's just something not, you know, like I say, I spend a lot of time on my own, and that is like my own choice, because you know what it's like filming. You can't even go to the toilet without someone following you. Like, so sometimes
just have a fiddle with that.
Yeah.
Can you just get off? I know you're doing your job, but can you just
it's
tuck
just
that in?
5 minutes.
Just tuck that in. Tuck that in.
So sometimes I'm like, I do just want to be on my own.
Yeah.
But this year I've tried to stay down, just to try and enjoy it a bit more, because you know I'm very lucky. I get put up in an apartment in a really nice area, and I'm like, I should actually make the most of this while I'm here.
Do you get your friends to come down?
Yeah. My friends have been down. All my family were down Sunday, actually. Had a roast dinner.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it's nice for them to see what's going on, even though like whenever I have brought my mum and dad to set, they're like, is this what you do? Because I'm usually like opening cupboards for like an hour, and they're like, oh my god, yeah, they're like,
you go on work.
We're gonna go back to the hotel. I'm like, yeah, that's I did tell you.
I did tell you, it's really quite boring.
Exactly. But yeah, my belly's rumbling. Can you hear that? I'm trying to hold it down.
Have you not had any lunch?
No, I had scrambled eggs this morning. I'm starving.
That's not going to fill you up. You should have had some lunch instead of going around the sales, look.
I should have actually spent that money on food, more importantly, than clothes.
Jodie, it's been lovely.
Thank you.
This is not the end of the episode. Do not press stop. I need to tell you something. I need to be honest with you. Okay, so what happened? Jodie came to meet us, and I'd set myself quite a ridiculous task of recording 5 episodes in the space of 24 hours, and my brain was shot. My brain was deado. I couldn't take in any more stories. So what happened when Jodie left? I was thinking about it, and I couldn't sleep all night because I was going, that's an unfinished episode. That's not right. I can't put that out because it's not complete. So I spoke to Jodie about it, and she came back, and she came to meet us in Kensington, and we finished it off, and we had a right good natter. So that explains why this part sounds a bit different. But this is the complete episode. Let's get back to it with Jodie Comer. I was listening to an actor be interviewed not so long ago. And he wasn't a movie star like he was an actor. You know, around 30, I think he was. And he was having this very generic interviews, you know, the ones where they ask you those very run-of-the-mill boring questions. And one of his questions was, how did you get involved in the project? Which is like, great, don't ask that. You're going to get the same answer.
My agent.
Yeah, well, I got a script. And he said, well, initially, I wasn't interested in doing it. And he said, why? He said, I just didn't think it was right for my brand.
Oh.
And I went, your brand?
Oh, God.
I haven't really heard that from somebody who isn't like a big American movie star, and that's different, I think, to an actor. And I just thought, when did he stop becoming an actor and start becoming a brand?
Well, I think that's the danger with like sort of the social media side of things. Like now, your following and your popularity can be a huge part of, not the sole reason, but a huge aspect of why you get a role. And I think actors have a danger of then putting their focus towards that side of things.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if that loses focus on the main aim. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, well, I see it all the time, like actors and actresses, like attending events, and they attend more events than I see them on
doing actual
screen,
work,
you know,
yeah.
and obviously that we can't decide what jobs we get or when we get them, but I think that that's something that I definitely don't want to do, because I think, like you say, if you are attending events, then your focus is somewhere completely different than where it should be.
Yeah.
But a brand?
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you
It's
said
quite
that.
scary.
I was quite scared because I'll tell you who it is off mic.
Yeah.
But I was quite a little fan of his, actually, and I thought,
Well, this is a lot about his intentions, I think.
Exactly. Or who's around him going, this is what you need to do to become a certain thing. Well, I don't think you do. I think your work creates work, and I'm a big believer in that. Work breeds work, and interesting things will come if you work hard and you work with great people.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, as I always am nowadays, thinking about the 16-year-olds who aren't at drama school yet, or aren't training, or don't want to get, or can't get into drama school, and they might look up
to that
and go, oh, well, in this world of social media and reality TV and all, maybe that's what I need to be. I need to become a brand.
I think there's no way of lasting that way. I think those people will always be filtered out at some point. Because I just think you can't do this and not be in love with it. Some people do, evidently, but I don't know. I just think if you lose your integrity, then you'll very easily lose your way.
I think so. I think integrity is kind of everything.
Yeah. I was with another actor friend of mine who's my age, and we were with an older actor on a job, and my friend called it, was asking questions about his career.
Yeah.
And the older actor was like, career? This is the problem with youths, you call it a career. And I was like, that had always baffled me, because, this is ultimately a career, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that really kind of stung us in a way. We were like, oh my God, what does, what does that mean, that we call this a career? And he was kind of really
taken aback.
Yeah.
Did he seem quite offended that you'd called it that?
It wasn't offended. It was more like, oh, you young guns and your career, and
I find that quite patronising.
Yeah. Well, we did. We both sat there like, okay then.
Well, good. I'm sure you should, because you should know better. Because, to be honest, I think it is. I think it is.
Of course it is. It should, like, as much as we don't want to call this our job, because I like. It's so much fun, and it's everything that we love, but ultimately it is. It's how, it's how you earn your living, it's your career, it's your job. Like, that's a matter of fact, right?
Well, I think so, but he sounds like one of these actors that lives for it and would never say no, and he's one of those that, I can never take a holiday in case a job comes in. Take that holiday. It's so healthy to switch off and say no.
You've got to live your life. That's another thing I'm like learning, is in order to put any sort of truth into your acting, you've got to go out and you've got to live, and you've got to experience and make mistakes. And
the best thing is to make the mistakes.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
I've been saying that for 20 years, Jodie. It's all right.
It's all for the acting.
But how can you incorporate something into your work if you haven't lived and done all that? So that is good. A career, of course, it's a career.
I know.
And speaking of this career, I'm so terribly sorry. I'm still getting over this cold.
It's okay.
Awful, isn't it? How are you with auditions?
I'm okay, I'm I pitch my way. I'm okay. No, I think everything, again, with age, as you get older, it just becomes a lot easier. I'm so much better now at switching off when I leave the room.
Right.
I'll have that, like, 20 minutes when I leave of going, oh my God, why did I say that line like that, when actually this is probably how I should have said it, or whatever. But I think my eyes have been open to the fact that it's not all about your acting. And in a sense of people making their choices. There are a lot of different elements that go towards someone getting a role, and a lot of those choices are out of my control.
Exactly, yeah.
And the quicker I let go of that and accept that, the more at peace I am with myself.
And do you cease to take it personally because of that?
I mean, no, I'd be lying if I said, you know, oh, I'm completely numb to never getting a part, because there are parts that I've really wanted and not got.
And if you didn't, then you wouldn't be human.
Exactly.
You wouldn't care.
Exactly, of course. So there is always that that feeling, but it's just not as intense. You know, I can get on with my day, or I can, you know, when I was younger, I'd be like, ring my agent like 2-3 times a week, like, any feedback, any sort of, you know, yes, no, maybe, like, whereas now I don't feel the need to do that, and I'm also really okay with not getting a yes or a no. You know, there's this conversation that's happening about actors should kind of,
yeah,
which I agree with. You know, it's like a respectful thing to just be told yes or no and you can move on, but I actually don't mind that, unless it's something that I'm obviously
something really desperate for. Yeah.
But yeah, auditions on a whole are okay. Nerves depend on what it is that I'm doing, or probably who I'm meeting, but I just try and enjoy them. I can't remember who said it. I was reading an interview with an actor, and they said that they just try and see it as another opportunity to do some acting, you know, like, enjoy it and have fun with it, rather than I've had moments where I haven't worked for like a long time, and when I say a long time, it's probably not very long to other people. Say like 7 months, and I'd go into an audition, and I remember the casting directors like saying to my agent, that she felt like my energy, like I was a bit down, or like I was a bit off, and what I'd realised is that I was going into auditions feeling like I needed it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I
and they
need
can
this.
tell.
Of course, yeah, and that really took me back, because I was like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm bouncing in the room like, hey guys, like, and they can just see I'm ready, like, and they can obviously just see that. So that was quite a turning point as well, because I thought, right, I need to, as hard as it is when you're out of work, you can't go into it needing it. Because, you know, when you do chemistry reads with people, and when you audition with other actors, the energy that they bring into a room is so telling. Yeah. You know, and with each person that walks out and a new person comes in, the shift is insane. But I really like auditioning. I like to feel like I've got a grasp of the character, and then, like, I hate self-tapes.
Well, I was going to talk about that, because you know, you were saying before, half the thing about getting a job is there's so many elements to it and all that. And I think a big one is meeting the people that you're going to be working with. If the producer and the director are there, then you've got a complicity and you've got a rapport, and oh, that's good. So that's one thing ticked, and then you do the scenes and you go, oh, right, well, that's working. So this could all work. Yeah. Whereas a self-tape, it just depends on that specific moment and that thing. You've got to meet them.
And depends on how you choose to play it. You know, I think that's the most fun thing about an actor-director relationship, whether it be in an audition room or on set, is that playfulness and that challenge of, like, they might just test you to do it another way, just to see how it changes the scene. And I think if you're... I mean, I do my self-tapes with my friend, and she's amazing. She really helps me. But it's that kind of just not knowing if this is the right way or not.
Like, with all, you can have the best intentions and go, well, this is my take on it. Yeah. And this is how I feel. And then, you know, in the room, they might go, oh, yeah, I appreciate where you're coming from.
But no.
But no.
But nah.
Have you thought about this? And you go... oh, God, yeah, no, of course, why did I see it like that?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah, on your own.
On your own.
No, I know. I remember I used to, I come to London to do my self-tapes now, because I don't really have, like, anyone at home who does acting. Or, not that you necessarily have to, but, like, if I have to do a self-tape, that's in American accents, and then God bless him, my dad's like, is, you know, in a Scouse accent, then accidentally reading the stage directions, and I'm like, oh! So,
Let's do it all again.
Yeah. And they're like, oh God, you know, I could be there for like 40 minutes, and they're like, are you done? Like, are we done? Yeah. So I stopped that very quickly. I come to London now to do my self-tapes.
And also you can just get it done easy. You can
Exactly.
someone can frame it up for you professionally.
Yeah, don't have to worry.
Well, it's not. You're thinking about the one thing you've got to do, and it's that scene.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about, is this looking all right?
Yeah. We're trying to balance all the books on the kitchen table.
Exactly.
With the really awful light. Yeah, with the really awful lighting.
But you were saying, you know, that might not, 7 months out of work might not seem.
But I just didn't want to sound like, because, you know, some people are out of work for a long, long time. Then I'm like, oh, I didn't work for 7 months.
I know they are.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, we can't compare. I don't think people should be comparing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at them. It's your
trajectory. You're
path.
so right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And that was something else that I've learned is like, I'd always look at other people and I'd be like, oh, but they're doing film. Like, oh, they're doing loads of film. And I used to have this thing in my head of like film and TV, like film being so much superior than television. I don't know why, but I drilled that into my own head. Maybe that was just my own insecurity of like film being this higher entity. And then I was like, actually, it's not. It really isn't. And the more focus you put on someone else's career, the less focus you're putting on your own.
Well, exactly. And however, quote unquote, high up people get, I know people that work much more than I do. Yeah. But they still go, oh yeah, but look at them.
Yeah.
So
it's just human nature, isn't it? You always want what you haven't got, or you're
always greener. But if you just focus on what you're doing, I know it's easier. Excuse me, it's easier said than done at times, but just to keep rooted. Yeah. And keep your feet on the floor and focus on what you're doing.
No, definitely.
I just want a bit of what they're doing over there. I want a bit come on now.
It's not helpful.
And I suppose it'd be remiss of me not to talk a bit about Killing Eve. Only because we're on that thing about things were going really well for you in your career, and I'm going to keep saying career more and more
me too,
in our discussion.
I think since we've mentioned that, because
that kind of annoyed me. But it has kind of gone slightly mad. I mean, I think we were discussing around Halloween. I've never seen the amount of Villanelles that were dressed up for Halloween.
It's so amazing.
It's so amazing, but I can't remember another character that's kind of connected with people over recent years.
I mean, if someone would have said that to me when we were filming it last year, I would have been like, shut up. But it's been so amazing to be a part of something that has resonated with people and that people have enjoyed, you know. I always get asked like, oh, what is the big message with Killing Eve? And I'm like, well, there isn't one really. You just go along really the journey and have fun with it. And I think that's what people have enjoyed so much is but I've never been a part of a show that has like had such a huge response. And
not just over here, but like
I know.
It aired over there first.
Went out in the States first, and that went down really well. And then I was like, the pessimist in me was like, oh, but the Brits are gonna, they're gonna hate it. Yeah, just for the sake of hating it. Yeah. Or, we're so used to like the British kind of humour that they'll be like, seen it or whatever. But no, it was the exact same. And I always know as well because like my mum and dad and my family have obviously watched everything that I've ever done. And it's like, oh, well, Jodie's in that, we'll have to give that a watch. Whereas now they're genuinely like, my whole family are like obsessed with it. It's just such a lovely sign.
But are you feeling that there's a shift, that things have changed for you?
I think so. I mean, not drastically, but I think the shift that I've sensed is like, in a work sense, is that people want to meet me and like have a conversation with me, rather than me, having to kind of go into a room like a general meeting and tell people about my life and explain myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many, like a good few years of going to LA and doing like 2 months of general meetings. Like, hi, I'm Jodie. Blah 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 blah.
And how did you find that?
Oh, exhausting. Like after a while, I think it's totally soul destroying.
Did it break you down a bit?
I don't know if it broke me down, but I mean, I feel like if I spend too much time in LA anyway, it generally does. Just because, well, usually because that's your sole purpose for being there is to go and meet people, introduce yourself.
It's just all about the
exactly.
work.
Everyone you speak to is like, oh, well, what are you doing at the minute? You know, who are you? What are you about? And I don't really have a lot of friends out there, so it can be kind of all-consuming. And
you need that balance.
Exactly.
You need a nice support network of family and friends.
You need your tribe of people.
Yeah.
So that's a shift that I've sensed, is that people now they have something in front of them that they can see and respond to, that it's people are more like forthcoming kind of thing, which is nice.
Which is always lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
And also because more doors are opening and more people are going, come over here because of the work. So it all goes back to the work.
Yeah. Or people will think of me now for things, you know, like for particular roles I will, you know, be considered for, like, rather than you. I don't know. I just feel like people are paying attention, which is nice.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, so no, it's a nice little.
And did anybody sit you down and go, right, I think things might change for you. You might start getting recognised a bit more. It might get a bit crazy.
Sandra and Phoebe did, actually. We went to they were in Cannes. There was a like a TV festival last year, and we were all having a little drink, and they'd like kind of brought it up then when we were drinking. They were like, oh, just so you know, like when this goes out, it might get a bit crazy, because obviously, like, I'm around Sandra a lot, and she gets recognised everywhere.
Yeah.
And I can see how intense that can be, and I'm in no way in that, that kind of bracket. But they were just like, look, it's probably something you need to be a little bit more aware of. It just giving me like a little heads up. And I've sensed a shift in that as well. But people are always lovely, you know. People are very... Do
you deal with that all right?
Yeah, I mean, my friends are really adapting with me. My best mate Liv, God bless her, she's like, whenever we're at a gig or we're out on a night out, like for instance, we went to a gig a couple of weeks ago and I was like oblivious. I was at the bar getting us drinks and this girl was next to me and she was like videoing me. Oh. And I didn't know, and my mate Liv like just tapped her and was like, can you not do that? And then I was like, oh, what's going on? And the girl was like, oh, I feel so embarrassed, like I'm really sorry. And I was like, look, it's fine, but like just... well, it's not fine, but just say hello to me, like, you know, like it's. I would rather that than you video me when I'm unaware, because then I start getting paranoid and I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
It's like, really intrusive.
Yeah,
someone
it's so intrusive.
Up, even if I know it happened to somebody, a friend of mine in a restaurant from another table, and he just tensed up and he couldn't eat his meal, and
well, you get so paranoid, and then like. Then I'm just really hyper aware now of when I can sense when that's happening, and of course that's just the modern age, you know.
Well, I know,
mobile phones, there's no getting away from it.
I don't think there's any excuse to just to be sat there and videoing or taking photos of somebody, because 9 times out of 10, I know people would just go, yeah, of course, well, let's have a photo.
Exactly.
It's no bother. It's fine.
That's
absolutely no problem at all to do that. But to be that's.
Well, I would never do it. I would also never do that, like video someone else when they don't know.
Of course you wouldn't.
So that's why I'm always like, oh, just say hello to me, or I'd rather stand and have a conversation with you. Especially but this is the thing as well, especially when you're out drinking, because everyone's guards get dropped and no one really has when everyone's had a drink, everything kind of goes out the window, doesn't it? But it's fine. It's it's not intense. It's not crazy. It's like you say, that's just the nature of the beast, isn't it? It's.
And I was talking to somebody. In fact, I was I think I might have been talking to Griff this morning about that phone thing and how people deal with it. And I was thinking of actors who are in soap operas, because they're in people's living rooms 5 times a week, and it's like then people think that they can just go, they know they just go up to her, and I was going, and that and I think soap actors work fucking so hard of what they do, and it's just a different form of acting.
Yeah,
and I've got complete respect for them, but how they must deal with that.
Yeah,
I don't know, because I know some people.
Well, I can imagine that, because a lot of those people play those characters from when in their 20s to like way beyond. So
and
that's
they're still
such
there, like 20 years later.
Whereas I guess with other dramas is that you're constantly switching up characters, aren't you? So you're never in a character long enough for people to kind of. Well, I guess I don't know. I'm sure.
It depends what hits home with the public, and everybody's talking about that specific thing. And it's a funny one, the phone thing, because I know somebody years ago who got very famous quite quickly, and she really couldn't handle it, and just went, "No, don't want to do this acting thing," and just like,
really, wow,
and just wanted to stick her head in the sand. You know, I can't. It's not something I could do. I love the work, and I love the acting, but this other side,
I can't deal with it.
I can't deal with it. The people looking.
It's hard. It's so hard, and I think that's so sad that if you know, if that did get too much for you to kind of take you away from something that you really love, I would hate that. It's something that I think I'm just got to adapt to, and
I suppose that's just about keeping rooted, isn't it? Because you've got such a close connection at home in Liverpool with you, and your family are so obviously so supportive, and you're so close to your parents. You very much remind me of Vicky McClure.
Oh, really?
Because she's in the fact that Nottingham and her family is like, that's her life.
Yeah.
She loves the acting, but she lives in Nottingham. Because that's, for her, that's the beating heart of everything.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And I, like you say as well, like if I ever did get too big for my boots, my mum and dad would tell me straight away, and my brother. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you need.
Yeah.
And so would my.
So would my, like, I think that's another thing of like your agents, your publicists, you know, all that. Those people are the people who advise you and who guide you, and I feel like if they're good eggs, you're going to be fine.
Exactly.
You know, and you trust them, and you
can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
You don't want to be come down the Brand Street with me.
Yeah. Or
really?
Or any kind of reality television, or
come on now.
Yeah.
Speaking of reality television,
I love it.
David Morrissey is very, very jealous that you were in the audience of Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh my god! See, there's been people going, "Oh, all these actors and actresses go to all these events," but I actually got.
Did you go with your mum?
I went with my mum and my nan, because my nan is like strictly
super fan.
Super fan. Like, we've been to see them in the Echo Arena, you know, when they do the tours and that. So the tickets came up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to take me nan," and then I thought, "Oh, I can't take me nan. She'll have to get the train down on her own, blah, blah, blah." So my mum came as well. But yeah, it was brilliant. She loved it.
Wow.
And it was so funny though. She's like, "This camera's in the way. I can't see a thing."
Get out of the bloody way.
I think that kind of killed the magic for her, that she couldn't.
This is how TV works.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're used to all that kind of behind the scenes, but she was a bit... all that stuff annoyed her a little bit. But... yeah, so that's nice, you know, to take, you know, like, so my nan, like...
That's lovely.
I thought that's like a once in a lifetime for her, so that was really fun. And they were like, "Oh, maybe next year, Jodie."
Did you go, "Yeah, look, I don't..."
I was like,
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I've got it in me.
I'd embarrass myself. Definitely.
Jodie, I think we're all good.
That's enough. That's enough of that.
I think what we should do is just go, right, it's Christmas.
Yeah. Sleep.
Should we just stop?
Eat. Yeah.
Sleep and eat.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks, Craig.
You're going to invite her to sing a carol?
No.
Oh, I missed the trick there.
And another episode is done. How brilliant is she? We had some crack, I tell you. And it's funny, you know, we spoke about if you see somebody off the telly or something, you know, and you're walking in the street, don't be taking photos of them just in the face or out front. Just go up and speak to them. And I tell you, for any money, they'll go, yeah, let's have a snap, let's have a natter. What's going on? It'll be fine. Don't be like that person sneakily recording. It's not cool. It's not nice. But how nice is Jodie? And I can't thank her enough for coming on. And I can't thank you enough, not just for joining today for this episode, but for the whole year. What a year it's been. Week in, week out, every Thursday, we've met up with brilliant people having interesting conversations. Some have been really funny, some have been heartbreaking. I'm just going to have a little sip of my lemon sip right there. That's better. But it's been such a ride, and thanks so much for coming on it with us. Right from the word go this year, it's been fantastic. Then myself and Griff go and win a bloody British Podcast Award, and that's down to you as well for subscribing, spreading the word. So look, fend off the cold. I hope you don't get ill like I do. Have a lovely, restful, beautiful Christmas, and watch out for the best of 2018 episode, which will be coming sometime over the festive period. Until then, thank you so much. You know how much it means to us. I've been Craig Parkinson. He's been producer Griff, and this has been a bloody brilliant year. This has been the Two Shot Podcast. Take care. Look after yourself.
The Two Shot Podcast is presented by me, Craig Parkinson, recorded and produced by Thomas Griffin for Splicing Block. Our brilliant music is courtesy of Then Thickens. Cheers.